Okay, so we're coming to lie back on the mat, just coming to relax, rest down. So we're going to be doing about an hour of Zen yoga practice. And for those of you joining for the first time today, Zen is very well known for its quiet, sitting still, silent meditation. Maybe not so well known for the moving meditation side of things. What in Zen they call Do-Zen, which means moving, or Zen in action, Zen in movement. So that's what we're going to be exploring today. So the body is resting. We're gradually relaxing more and more into the floor and coming to arrive in the moment. And the last few weeks, last 5 weeks, in fact, we've been looking at the Paramitas, which are characteristics or attitudes or intentions which underlie Zen, which help us move towards awakening or enlightenment. We started off looking at dana, which means generosity, offering, giving. And then it's shila, which means morality or ethics. And then kshanti, which means patience or tolerance. And then we looked at virya, which means energy or effort, the right effort. And then the last class we were looking at jhana, which means meditation, literally means meditation or concentration. And then today we're looking at the last of our 6 paramitas. And this is Prajna. Prajna means wisdom. So we're going to see what that means, how we can find and apply wisdom in our class today. So if we bring the hands down by your side, palms face down by the side of your body, with your fingertips touching your mat, and then we're just going to slide the hands down towards your feet until your arms feel like they've gone really long, shoulders being pulled downwards. And then with these long arms, if we lift them up to the ceiling, keep on reaching away with your fingertips as your arms come up over the top of your head. And as your hands come above the head, close to the floor, maybe touching the floor, give yourself a nice long stretch. So reaching up through the whole arms and also reaching down to the whole of your legs. Long stretch. And then bring the hands up to the ceiling and then bringing them back down to the side of your body. So we're going to move with the breath, breathing in, the hands lift up to the ceiling, coming up over the top of the head. And then breathing out, the hands coming back down to the side of your body. Let's do 4 more breaths like this. Breathing in, arms lifting. And breathing out, arms lowering. So just moving at your own pace, at the pace of your own breath. Nice long stretch as the hands come above your head. Now once you've done those 4, you can let your hands come to rest down to the mat. I'm just noticing what those breaths and movements have done with your body. So simple movements, maybe making a significant change from when we first started. So next time you breathe in, take the hands up over the top of the head. Nice deep breath in, long stretch. Breathing out, hands to come hover in front of your legs. Going to reach down towards the toes. And as you do so, let the shoulders lift, let the head lift. Now we're looking at the toes. And we have the lower back flattening into the floor. And we're just spending a few moments here reaching towards the toes. Got a little bit of engagement in the center in your belly. Two more breaths. And then as you breathe in, the hands lift, bringing them right up at the top of the head, long stretch. And breathing out, hands again to hover in front of your legs. Reach to your toes, let the head come up off the floor, and then we're going to see if we can come all the way up to sitting by reach, coming all the way up. Yeah, I'm going to come all the way over into all fours. So one way to do it would be to cross the legs and to roll over the knees and to come into all fours, or indeed sweeping your legs around to the side and then come into all fours. So shuffle back on your mat if you need to make sure you're in the middle, and then bring the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And then letting your head hang down towards the floor. We're also going to let the belly hang down towards the floor. So relaxing the belly, relax the spine, relax the head, hangs down, and also letting the shoulder blades squeeze together so that your body is just hanging down here. And all the activity is in the arms, holding you up. Everything else is relaxed. So what does it mean by wisdom? Prajna. Well, there are many wisdoms, many kinds of wisdom. But what this specifically is referring to is the wisdom that arises from knowing that we're not a separate, fixed, isolated being. That there's a sense of connection with the rest of the world. There's a sense of oneness. So let's see what that means. Right, so if we shift the body weight forward slightly in the hands, and then lift the spine up, so we're arching the back, and then moving your body backwards until you come all the way back towards your heels, and then let the elbows release to the floor. Looking forward, slide the body forwards until the head is above the hands, and then lift the chin and come all the way up back to all fours. So head down, arching the back. Moving the body backwards until you come back to your calf muscles or heels. Drop elbows, look forwards, slide forwards, and then lift the chin and look up to come up. So head down, arching, moving backwards. Drop elbows, forwards and up. Okay, so now with the breath, breathing out as you arch the back and move backwards. Drop elbows, breathing in as you come forwards and then up. Okay, so you might need to speed up a bit to keep up with your breath. Breathing out as you move backwards. Drop elbows, breathing in as you come forwards and up. Okay, so just carrying on with your breath at your own pace. So we've touched into many of the different kinds of wisdom along this last 5 classes. The wisdom of offering, the wisdom of forgiveness, the wisdom of respecting your body, of listening, the wisdom of patience, and of applying the right kind of energy in the right time, the wisdom of concentration, of being right here, right now with what we're doing, not getting distracted. So you might find your spine beginning to move a little bit more as we're breathing forwards and backwards. Just doing your best to get as much movement through your spine as you can with the breath. And if it feels like you start to encounter some stuck places, some places that feel a little uncomfortable, not moving so well, just be really aware, very kind, very present, respectful of those sensations. Patience with how the body needs to move. We're going to do another 5 breaths with this movement. Once you've done those 5 breaths, come to sit back on your heels, come into a child's pose. Now in the child's pose, you can rest with your head on your hands or on your arms. Or if you like, have the hands out in front. Or if you like, bring the hands down by your feet. Any of those positions are fine. Just something that's comfortable, something you can rest into. So in order to appreciate this Prajna wisdom, the wisdom of knowing that we're not separate, I'd like to introduce an analogy. An analogy, if you imagine a mountain range that's covered in cloud, and all we see is the peaks sticking up out of the cloud. This is like seeing each of us as individuals. Right? We just see the peaks. We say, oh, that's a peak, oh, there's a peak, there's another peak. There's a person, there's another person, there's another person. But later in the day, the cloud evaporates and we see that the peaks are actually connected via the valleys, down and up again. And there's just one continuous range of mountains. So that's like the clouds evaporating is like switching into this new mode of seeing, this prajna wisdom. Understanding that, yes, we're individual peaks, but we're actually all connected. We're all part of this vast universe. We're all very interconnected. And prajna refers to the wisdom which comes from that, the new moving or being from knowing that we're all connected. Okay, so coming back into all fours, let's do a little bit of spinal circles. So if you imagine your waistline moving in a circle, let's drop the belly towards the floor, and then we'll move the belly to the side, either side, doesn't matter which one, and then we move the belly up towards the ceiling, arching the back, and we move the belly to the side, and then down towards the floor again. Okay, so side, up to the ceiling, arching the back, and then the side, and then down towards the floor. Yeah. So keep on moving in this direction. Side up, side down. Side up, to the side, and then down. Let's do one more in that direction. And then we're going to change the direction. So you just go back the other way. Again, as much movement as you can through the spine, or any areas that feel a bit stuck, just being really aware, very kind, moving around anything that feels sensitive or tender. Let's do one more in this direction. And then we'll come back into the center. Good. Let's take the right foot out behind. Straight out behind, maybe just lifting it up as high as feels comfortable, up above the body. Long, straight leg. And then we're going to bring the knee underneath the body and see if you can touch your nose. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. And then we'll send it straight out behind. So we'll do one more time. Bring the knee underneath the body, see if you can touch your nose. And then sending it out straight behind. Now up as high as you can, hold 3 breaths. Then we're going to take the foot across the body towards the left side and touch the toes on the floor. So coming diagonally behind the body, touching the toes on the floor. Turn around over your shoulder, see if you can see your foot. So we're twisting, looking around over the left shoulder to see your foot behind. Okay, and then we're going to bring the foot up off the floor back to where it started and see if we can bring it all the way around the other direction as far as you can without the foot touching the floor. And then we come all the way back to the behind. Okay, bring the knee down to the floor and then we'll do the other side. So left leg out behind and up. And then we'll bring the knee underneath, so if you can touch your nose. And then behind and up. And then one more time, underneath the body. See if you can touch your nose. And then behind and up. Holding it up, 3 breaths. And then we'll cross the foot behind the body, moving out to the right side. Touch your toes on the floor. And then see if you can look over the shoulder around to see the foot. Noticing that nice side bend, side stretch feeling. Good. And then bringing the foot back to where it was, and then coming all the way around in the other direction as far as you can without letting the foot touch the floor. And then we'll come all the way back and bring the knee down to the ground. So back to the right foot lifting behind, right foot crossing behind the body diagonally, touch the toes on the floor. Now this time we'll take the right hand, we're going to bring it across the body as you turn, look over the shoulder, okay? So twisting to look around to see your foot, but also with the arm brings that side stretch much deeper through the upper body as well. 2 more breaths. Okay, and then we'll come back, just bringing the knee back underneath. We'll do the other side. So left leg, extend behind, left leg behind the body diagonally, touch toes to the floor. Left arm crosses the front, and then we'll twist and look around behind. Yep, just a couple more breaths, looking around, appreciating, exploring, enjoying that side stretch. And then we'll come back, hand, knee, back to the center. Okay, so tucking your toes, lifting the hips, and then we'll walk the feet in towards the hands. Once your feet are behind the hands, letting your hands just dangle down, head dangling down, and releasing the body in a forward bend. So in order to be able to really sense this oneness, this something beyond my body aspect of our yoga practice, I'd like you to consider just what brought you to your yoga today, to doing this practice, joining in today. So there may be a motivation which arises from within the body, but there may be all sorts of other influences, intentions, energies which come from outside of your body, which influenced your actions, which brought you here. Like, we are very dependent, connected. Just a couple more breaths. And then we'll slide the hands up the legs, coming all the way up into standing. Take your time, let the head be the last thing that comes up. Once you come to standing, let your eyes lower, close, just for a moment, sensing, here we are. Good, eyes lifting. So coming towards the front of your mat, take the right hand, we're going to reach up. So bring the weight across to your right foot, and then just let the weight sink down to the right foot a little bit. Now look up to the ceiling and reach upwards. Reach up and really lengthen the right side of the body. Really reach up like you're looking at a point on the ceiling and you're trying to touch it. Just keep on breathing. Very easy to hold your breath here. Keep breathing, reaching up. 2 more breaths. Keep reaching. And then on the out breath, we're going to let it just fall. That's it. Okay, and come back into the middle. Maybe take a moment, maybe even close your eyes for a second. Just checking in. How does the right side feel to the left? Which is the side which feels more alive or heavier or more tingly? Yeah, okay, let's do the other side. So left hand, reach up. Now look down, just bend the left knee a little bit, sink the weight down. Yeah. Now look up, find your point on the ceiling, and reach upwards until the body is really, really long. Really long. Keep breathing here. So it always feels like there's a me doing this action. Like me as in Mark, I'm telling you what to do, and there's a you that makes the action happen. So already there's more than just you, there's a connection to me, and there's a connection across the internet, maybe if you're joining online. There's this bigger, broader world that makes this action happen. Keep reaching, keep breathing. One more breath. And then as you breathe out next, just let your hand fall down and come back into the center. Take a moment, eyes lowered, maybe closed, if you like. Good. Eyes lifting. So shift weight to the right side, right hand lifts. Look up to the point on the ceiling, reach up. Now, where does your body stop? That's another question to ask here to get us into this Prajna wisdom idea perspective. So we have the ends of our fingers, but also we're looking up to the ceiling, which is beyond the fingers. We're reaching to try and touch. Our intention, our energy reaches out beyond the fingers. Could you say that is an extension of you reaching out? There is something beyond your fingers. Keep breathing, one more breath. And as you breathe out, let it release. Good. And then come back to the center. Okay? Left side, left hand. Look up to the point on your ceiling. Reach upwards. Keep breathing. Extending your energy, your intention, your body, your self out beyond the fingers to something out there, up there. Keep reaching. One more breath. And then as you breathe out, release. Good. To the center, just take a moment, closing your eyes if you like, and just asking, how does your body feel? Good. Eyes lifting. So coming across to the right hand lifts. Now we're going to shift the weight to the left foot. So across, take the right foot and step behind. Okay? And then here, this top hand can float over the body and will come into a slightly deeper side bend as much as you want to come, okay? Resting the weight back onto the back foot. Yeah, breathing here. Taking this a little bit further. One more breath. And then we're going to come up, bring the hands up to shoulder height. The back foot's going to come up and across the front. And then we touch the toes on the floor, okay? So just taking that. So the left foot crosses the front, touching the floor. Yeah, and then if you want here, we're going to bend the knees, and taking this foot, we can come up just off the floor to find a balance, getting your eyes fixed on the floor. Or if you want, you can wrap it around and just tuck in as far as you want to come. Yeah, just keeping your eyes resting on the gazing at the floor, that focus. Okay, and then we're going to release. So here, this right foot spins out and steps back, and we end up facing the side. Yeah. Okay, so just arranging the feet, front foot facing forwards, back foot turning in, maybe 45 degrees. Hands on the hips to align with the long side of the mat. Yeah. So back hand is going to lift to the ceiling, and then front hand here slides a little bit down the front leg. Front leg is straight. Top hand comes over the top. Yeah, and as that top hand comes over the top, just getting a sense, side of the body. Side of the body. What's going on here? What can we feel? Where can we come to which feels like a sustainable kind of beneficial place for the side to find some stretch? One more breath. Breathing in, we come up. Good. So bend the front knee And then bring the back hand to the back thigh, front hand floating up over the top of the body, this time from the front. Yeah. The more the hand floats over the top of the body, the more we can bend into the front knee, look up to the ceiling. And now we're exploring the other side. One more breath. Breathing in, coming up here. So front elbow comes to front knee. We're going to rest down on the front knee, top hand up to the ceiling and then over the top of the body so that we can have a sense of one long line between the back foot all the way up the back leg, all the way the upper ribs, armpit, long arm to the fingertips. Maybe even looking up to where the fingertips are pointing and having that sense of something extending beyond your fingertips into the space. What is that thing, something? That is our energy. That is something which extends beyond the physical limits of our fingertips into the space around us. One more breath. Breathing in, we come up. Back hand to back thigh, front hand over the top. And then we're going to come up to upright. Now here, the back hand is going to come across and down to the floor. And then we're going to start to turn and twist to look at your knee and then maybe be beyond and around and up to the ceiling. Now the other hand, our left hand, can reach upwards if you like. Can extend the arm. Make sure both feet are nice and grounded and are strong on the floor. And if you like, the front leg can move towards straight, okay? Straightening a little bit, maybe straightening completely, or maybe not getting anywhere near. No worries, just moving in that direction, see what happens. If you like, looking up to the ceiling. And then the top arm's going to come down, and I'm going to come up to standing. Up to upright, yeah? So just have a watch of what we do next, okay? So from this position here, with the right hand on the floor, we're going to turn to the side, to this position, okay? We're going to have the knee down, that's also fine. We're just going to turn around to this place. Okay? So back hand, right hand comes across and down to the floor. And then we're going to turn the feet towards the left side, keep turning the feet, and bring the hip here down towards the floor. Please feel free to drop the knee on the floor if that's easier. And also this front leg, we can just shift it out of the way a bit if that makes easier, to bring the hip closer to the floor. And now, let's see, we're going to turn and actually face backwards for a moment here, but just have a watch. We're going to drop the hips to the floor and we're going to end up facing backwards like this. Okay, so just listening to what I'm saying, we've got the right leg straight, and we've got the left leg flipped over the knee to the opposite side. Going to take the left hand around behind, and we're going to turn the belly towards your thigh. Okay, so the other hand is going to be used as a kind of helpful aid. We're going to be either holding the knee or wrapping the knee, and we're going to turn around to twist. So make sure your belly is turning towards your thigh, and we're looking over the left shoulder. Sitting nice and tall, twisting. Couple of breaths. Now, as we come out of this, we're going to twist back in the opposite. We're going to release the twist firstly. We're going to twist in the opposite direction. Bring two hands to the front of the mat. Turn and step back into down dog. So we're in down dog position, looking at the feet, hips lifting upwards and backwards. Just take a little moment here. Maybe pressing the backs of the heels down towards the floor, one after the other. Or maybe just being still. And then if we walk the feet in towards the hands, coming all the way to the front of the mat, Slide the hands up the legs, coming all the way up into standing. Yeah. Take a little moment, eyes lowered, maybe closed. So when we're present in our body, we realize that our body is more than just this physical being standing right here. There's all these influences and relationships and energies that extend beyond. This is the wisdom that we come to touch into. We come to know this wisdom, this understanding that there's more to me than just this body here, this kind of entity. Eyes lifting. Okay, so shift weight across, this time to the left side, and then just let the weight, and then bring the left hand up. So looking up to your point on the ceiling, extending beyond your fingertips to reach up. Shift weight across to the other foot, and then we're going to take that left foot and tuck it behind, okay? Stepping a little bit behind. Now the top hand can float over the body as far as it wants to come into this side bend, yeah? So keep breathing. You can imagine the sides of your ribs opening up so that the breath comes in and out through the rib cage. This is another way to touch into this Prajna wisdom. So when we breathe, the air becomes us, and then when we breathe out, it leaves our body. So does that breath, is that us? Is that me? When does it stop becoming me? Is there no limit? One more breath. Good. Bring the hands up to shoulder height. We're going to take the back foot, we bring it across and to the front, and a wrap over. Yeah, touch the toes to the floor, bend the knees. Get your eyes fixed on the floor, just to establish that balance here. Yeah, if you want, you can lift up the foot, and if you want, you can just wrap it around behind, tuck the toe in, just if you want, yeah, sinking down. Let's find that balance. Keep breathing. One more breath. Good. And then we're going to come up, untuck, take the foot, spin it around, step back, okay? So we've stepped back this time with the left foot. We've got the right foot at the front of the mat. Yeah, left foot, the one at the back of the mat is just turning in maybe something 45 degrees or so. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, front leg is strong and straight. We're going to put the hand on the front leg here. Back hand lifts up and comes over the top. Okay, this one here, we've got the front leg straight. Maybe if you like, looking up to where the fingers are pointing and really reaching out beyond. Breathing. So this atmosphere that we breathe, this air, it comes in, it gets incorporated in our bloodstream, moves around the body uses oxygen, it creates carbon dioxide, breathes out the carbon dioxide, and then that carbon dioxide goes back out into the atmosphere. This is the continuous change cycle of our breath. One more breath here. Breathing in, we come up, bend the front knee, back hand to back thigh, front hand lifting up over the top. So as you breathe out, just think about that air as it's leaving your body. Somehow it feels like it's leaving me and becoming part of the atmosphere. But is it really? Is not the atmosphere also part of you? Breathing in, we come up to upright. This time, keep the front knee bent. We just bring the elbow down onto the knee. Back hand comes over the top. Extending the fingertips away from your back foot, reaching out. Maybe even to where you're pointing your fingertips, breathe to that place. Send your breath out. And then maybe even think about breathing in from that place, drawing air in from where your fingertips are reaching to. One more breath. Okay, coming up. Back hand to back thigh, front hand over the top. And then we're going to breathe in, come up. So back hand comes across the front of the body, bringing that back hand. The left hand now down to the floor. Right hand wants to extend and twist up towards the ceiling. So here we have a twist as we turn, look up. Yeah, the front leg can move towards straight or maybe explore. Okay, could I straighten it a bit? Would that be possible from this place? Breathing. Breathing in this continuous medium which connects us all, right? So we're all in this atmosphere, no matter where we are, online or in person here in the room, we're all in the same atmosphere. It's like the clouds disappear and suddenly we realize we're all connected via the air which we all breathe. Good. Breathing out, the top hand comes down to the floor. Now we're going to make our twist that I was showing you before. So we keep the left hand on the floor. We turn the feet. So we're looking out towards the other side, okay? Back knee down if you need. Front foot can just shift out of the way if you need. We're bringing the left hip down towards the floor. That's the point of this movement here. The left hip sinking. Just for a little moment. And then setting your bum down onto the ground, twist, twist, twist all the way to face the back of the mat. So we're now facing away, right? So we've got the left foot long, right foot is flipped over the knee. We turn towards the thigh. Bring the right hand around behind you for support and use the left arm to hold the knee to help you twist. Looking over our right shoulder. Sitting tall, breathing. But of course there's more to it, this Prajna wisdom, than just the atmosphere. It's not just the atmosphere that connects us all, because we know that at the top of the atmosphere we enter space. Our Earth is surrounded by air, which then just becomes less and less dense until we reach space, and then we're into outer space. We extend our minds out into the universe, the planets, the galaxies, all embedded in this one universe of ours. One more breath here. So we're going to release the twist, come back to the center. We're going to keep on twisting back in the other direction, bring the hands to the front of the mat, and then just stepping back into down dog. Twisting around, stepping back, down dog. And then maybe you want to just press the heels towards the floor for a moment, or maybe just extend the hips upwards and backwards. And then walking the feet in, just behind the hands, to the front of the mat. We'll slide the hands up the legs, coming all the way up to upright. Standing tall, eyes lowered. Just for a moment, checking in. How do you feel? What's going on? Okay, so there's a kind of nice flow within that spiral sequence. Just going to see if we can do it a little bit quicker and find that flow, okay? So first of all, right hand. Right hand reaches up. Right foot is going to step round behind the body, okay? So same hand. Hand reach up, foot reach back. Same side. Yeah, no, so other way around. No, other foot. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Okay, from here, hands come up to shoulder height. Back foot comes across the front and flips over. Touch toes if you need. Yeah. And then we're going to unscrew the leg, if you see what I mean, and step back. I don't unscrew the leg, that's wrong. Anyway, stepping back with the right foot. Both legs straight, front hand to front leg, top hand floating over the top. Breathing in, we come up to upright, bend the front knee, back hand to back thigh, front hand floating over the top. And then we come forwards, elbow onto the knee, back hand over the top. Reaching up to upright, back hand to back thigh, front hand over the top. And then we come to upright, we take the back hand, we bring it across the front to the floor, turning to face up towards the ceiling. Top hand floats down, and then we're going to twist and look around to the left side. So flip the feet all the way around, bring the right hip close to the floor. Yeah, adjust the feet as you need. And then if we just sit the tail down to the ground, twist all the way around so we're facing the back of the mat. We end up with right leg straight. Keep turning all the way around towards the thigh. And then release the twist, twisting all the way in the other direction, 2 hands to the front of the mat, stepping back, down dog. Walk the feet in towards the hands, come to the front of the mat. Sliding up to upright, coming all the way up. Good, left hand this time, left hand reaches up. And the same side, so left foot comes around behind. That's it, good. Hands to shoulder height. Back foot comes across the front and touches. Maybe lifts. Then we spin the foot out, round and back, step back. Both legs straight to begin with, back arm lifting over the top. To upright, bend the front knee, back hand to back thigh, front hand over the top. And then we bring elbow to front knee, back hand comes over the top. Come to upright, back hand to back thigh, front hand comes over the top. And then to upright, back hand now comes across to the front of the mat, down to the floor, and then we twist, keep on twisting, looking around to face the ceiling. Top hand's going to come down. Here we've got the weight resting on the left hand on the floor. We turn, and bring the side of the hip down towards the ground. And then tail down to the floor, flip, swizzling all the way around to the back. Here we've got the left leg straight this time as we twist and look over right shoulder. And then release the twist, twisting around the other direction, stepping back into down dog. Good. Bringing the knees down to the ground, come to sit back on your heels. Going to bring the feet out to the right side and then separate the legs so that the sole of the foot is touching the top of the thigh. Good. So here it's fine to lean out on the hand. We're going to try and get the hips as level as we can, bearing in mind this is a strange and unusual twist for this hip here, and so we're just bringing a sense of where we need to be. And then once it feels comfortable, start to walk the hands around the body. We're going to turn towards the back foot, so looking around towards the right. Sitting as tall as you can, turning. And then we gently untwist back towards the front. We're going to go all the way in the other direction. Bring your hands across, using them for support where you need to look over and around across your left shoulder. So Prajna is the wisdom which comes from the knowing that we're not separate, that we're not actually isolated, fixed, separate beings that we are all connected. It's the wisdom which comes from that. And then we're going to release, come back towards the center. So the back leg here is going to come across and flip over the front knee, okay, like this. Now, there's lots of options here. We want to be seated evenly on the mat, all right? So both sitting bones evenly. Now, if this feels like it's going to be a bit tricky, then the bottom leg can come out, and we come back to where we were when we were facing backwards, yeah? If that's easier for you. If this leg can come up by the hip and we're still evenly on the mat, that's also fine, yeah? We're going to turn now back in the first direction, so towards the right, using your hands whichever way you need to help you to turn. So what does that mean, the wisdom which comes from this knowledge, this knowing? Well, the way I've had it described to me is like, why would the right hand fight the left hand when the right hand is connected to the left? Sometimes the right hand maybe has this false sense that it's separate, that it's an individual being. But actually, we just have to glance down. We see the right hand is connected to the left. So why would it, in any sense, be unkind or fight or do anything which would harm the left hand? That's the wisdom which comes from our knowing. Okay, so we release from here back towards the center. And then we're going to take this leg a little bit further across. So options from this position here, right? So you could take the legs and move them so that one knee is on top of the other and the 2 feet are facing out to the side. Or if you've got this underneath leg out straight, then what we're doing is taking this leg across as far as it feels comfortable. Or indeed you can be in a cross-leg position, which is also kind of like also works, yeah? So whichever of those is going to work best for you. Now, instead of twisting from here, we're going to make some forwards and backwards movements. First of all, using the hands for support, we'll just start to move the body forwards. Yeah. You might find there's just a millimeter or so of movement before you're in a comfortable stretch. You might find you actually even need to move backwards a little bit to find a comfortable place. You might find you're kind of forwards like this. So just wherever you need to be to respect your hips and be kind, but also beneficial, that it's going to be helpful for them. So there's this knowing that we're all embedded in this oneness together. Here, all of us practicing in the room, across the internet, we're all doing this together. And we're not just separate beings doing this yoga together, we are yoga together. So just allowing the head to release down. If you find it's getting a bit intense, just back away from the stretch a bit, adjust whatever you need to do. Three more breaths here. Breathing in and slowly coming up. Good. And we'll release the legs out into the front and just have a little bounce around, just make sure everything's relaxed. Yeah. And if we bring the legs across this time out towards the left side, so sole of the foot touching the top of your knee, yeah, using your hand for support, getting the hips as level as feels comfortable. When that feels good, turning towards the back foot, so towards the left. Another way I've heard it described is that when we look at the ocean, we see individual waves rolling up the beach. We say, oh, that's a wave. Oh, there's a wave. Oh, that's a wave. But what's a wave? And what is actually a wave? The waves come, the waves go. They're all arising out of this one ocean. They all arise and then they sink back into the ocean. And it's only our discriminative mind which says, oh, that's a wave and that's not a wave. Okay, releasing from this, coming back to the center, twisting around in the other direction. So we could see this as our body. There's each individual part of the body making up the whole. I've talked about the hips, I've talked about the legs, the arms, the head, making up a whole. But we could equally talk about different parts of our society, different parts of nature, different parts of our families, our relationships, which make up this whole. And if we extend it further and further and further, we realize there is only one whole. It's the whole universe. And then we're going to release from this, coming back to the center. So take the back foot and we're going to bring it across, flip it across the front knee. And you might find that in this position you can get your hips evenly on the mat, or you might find you just need to release the bottom foot out again, as you wish, yeah? Or you might find it very comfortable here. So we're turning in the first direction, back towards the left side. So using your hands to help you twist. So there's a famous Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh. He died just recently. He was very famous for talking about how you can look at a leaf and see the whole universe. You can look at anything. You can bring your mind within to your own hip or your thigh and see the whole universe arising in that moment, in that sensation. The hip and the thigh and this sensation can only exist because of the billions and billions of years of evolution, because of the arising of the universe, the formation of our planet, the arrival of the sunlight that drives the energy on this planet. All of it connected, all of it existing, all of it arising in your body in this moment. Okay, releasing back towards the center. Taking the front foot and bringing it a little bit further across, coming a little bit deeper into this cross-leg position. And then when it feels comfortable, when you feel like you've got something okay, you're just going to start to experiment with moving forwards. And just seeing where your body wants to come to, what feels like it's going to be helpful. Gently softening. You might find you've gone a little bit too deep and want to just release a little bit. You might find you just want to stay exactly where you are, breathing.
Hello, are you 24A?
Yeah.
Skinner?
Yeah.
I got passed for a Skinner.
Okay.
Is that right?
Well, we're in the middle of a class, but yeah, okay.
I thought it was 1 o'clock, I thought it was 4.
Okay, if we just, yeah. So, gently coming out of that, if you haven't already. And then we're just going to bring the legs, release the legs in front, and have a little bounce around. And then we're going to rest down onto the floor for the last few minutes. So just resting, relaxing, rolling out. So the hands, they can be resting on your belly, they can be resting by your side, their legs, they can be out straight, or if you like, you can bend the knees, bring your feet onto the floor. Just one of those, whichever feels like it's going to be most restful for you. So over this last period of time, we've been exploring these paramitas, these attitudes or characteristics which lead us towards... Well, actually, paramita literally means crossing over. And the idea or the image is that we start off on the shore of suffering. We start off from a place of stress or pain or difficulty, worry. And these paramitas help us to cross over to the other shore, the shore of wisdom, compassion, presence, truth, if you like. So we have offering or generosity, offering ourselves the time and the space to do our practice at the very least. Making sure we abide by good ethics. Because ultimately, if we break those ethical codes, then we're just going to be hurting ourselves and hurting other people. It leads us to more suffering. Being patient, tolerant. Being patient is one thing that is excruciatingly hard sometimes. Applying right energy, effort. Knowing when it's appropriate to put in the work and when it's appropriate to rest back, as we're doing now, resting. And then the fifth of our paramitas, this jhana, concentration, meditation, absorption in what we're doing. What in Zen they call narikiru, which means literally to become one with what we're doing. And when we become one with what we're doing, we see this prajna, wisdom. There's not me doing yoga. There's not a sense of a separate self. There's just yoga. There's just this. There's just right now. And in this moment of right now, here, the right hand is connected to the left. The mountain peaks are connected by the valleys. We are all connected. So as we come to the end of our practice together, and also the end of this little sequence of classes we've been doing, maybe you just want to bring a little bit of movement back to the body. Perhaps rolling the head a bit side to side or wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe taking a deeper breath. And then when you're ready, rolling yourself over onto your right side. Taking a breath or two here on the side. Now, if you've been joining us today on the Insight Timer app and you want to offer a donation in exchange for the class, that's very easy to do. You could just click the donate button. It would be very appreciated. An exchange of energy. And then when you feel ready, you're going to come up into sitting. Bringing the hands in front of your forehead, take a little bow to honor your own practice today. Coming up here, making this diamond shape on top of the head, laying it over the crown, coming out, scooping up some space or energy, bringing it into the chest. And here we're bowing to honor all of us here practicing together. We honor ourselves and we honor this collective oneness. And then from the chest we go down to the floor, bowing and saying thank you to our teachers and all the people in history who have passed things down for us to learn today, honoring this connection through space and time back in history. Coming up. So thank you and thank you very much. Lovely.